Yeah, you just kind of, it's one of those things that happens. Very, very blessed to be in the position that I am with the New York Mets, first-class organization from top to bottom. Thank them for everything they did for me, and excited to join the Rays. They're in the hunt, and I think just overall excitement. Yeah.
Sandy called you and told you? Is that how you found out? Or did
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, Sandy.
Were you prepared for that news? Had they prepared you for that?
I've heard, rumors and stuff, and, it's part of the game, you don't really know until it comes to fruition. So, like I said, I'm excited. Kind of a mixed emotions, the guys here are really grown pretty close to, and, like I said, first-class organization, treated me extremely well. I was very proud to be a New York Met, and I'm going to be very proud to be a Tampa Bay Rays. So.
Lucas, you said you've heard things, and obviously mentally you prepare yourself somewhat for it, but is there a difference when it becomes official, when you actually get the news? Is it something that's tough to prepare for?
Yeah, I don't think you can really prepare for it. It just kind of happens, and you just kind of deal with it and accept it, and kind of be open to it. But like I said, I'm extremely excited, and I'm looking forward to starting a new step.
So aside from his home run prowess, Duda 13th in franchise history in OPS, 16th in doubles, 18th in walks this season, hitting .246, 17 home runs, 37 RBIs. And so Lucas Duda on his way to the Tampa Bay Rays. Let me get your initial reaction to the deal.
Well, I mean, everybody kind of thought that it was going to be no surprise that he would be one of the guys that would be dealt. To see that it was for a minor league pitcher, someone who's on the fast track, headed up to the major leagues, that was a plus in the deal. I think it's a sad day anytime you see a guy who's been part of the franchise for so long, one of the longest standing members of this franchise. He's one of the guys that you've kind of grown to love. With all his deficiencies, you still hoped for the best. Every time Duda came up to bat, a chance to do something big, a big bat in the middle of that lineup. And, he had a very nice run as a New York Met. The injuries are starting to wear him down a little bit, but he had grown also as a defensive player throughout the years.
What about his legacy? How do you look back and assess his legacy with the Mets?
I think he's one of those guys, every time I think about him hitting a home run, you hear the Duda smash. The fans love this guy. They really gravitated to the strong, silent type. And it's very hard to be that guy in New York, especially the, media capital of the world. Some guys are too boisterous. Some guys, eat humble pie. But this guy was a guy who went out there so often, just put in the work, grinded it out. He was very streaky, almost as streaky as they come in baseball. But again, he was one of the Mets that you kind of grew to love, and the fans definitely loved him.
I think there's a significant portion of the fan base that remembers him for the bad throw at the end of Game 5 of the 2015 World Series. Is that unfair to him?
Absolutely, it's unfair. I mean, it's one play, one moment right there.
A big play.
It was a big play. Oh, it's an absolute big play. It was probably, if he had made that play, then people might be remembering Hosmer for being the stupidest base runner we've ever seen. But it worked out that way. It's very harsh to be remembered for that thing, for that moment. Think about it this way. The Wilmer Flores moment where he was crying on the field because he didn't get traded, Lucas Duda hit 3 home runs in that game that night. Nobody remembers that, do they?
It is worth noting here. And Keith Hernandez has worked with Lucas Duda defensively, and Lucas got better over at first base. He saved a lot of errors for guys over at first base.
Yeah, I mean, with his size, he was limited with his range, but what he could get to, he was very solid with the glove. He was sure-handed over there, especially saving other people's errors. We know this team has a very poor time throwing from the left side of the infield over across, making that strong throw. So that one hop, it's almost as it's worked in. Lucas Duda is expecting it. He learned to kind of put himself out there almost as a goalie at times over there by first base with the feet waiting to go which way to make that play and get the quick tap.
It wasn't that long ago. We spent a lot of time on this. Who was going to be the Mets first baseman of the future? Was it going to be Lucas Duda, or was it going to be Ike Davis? A choice had to be made. They went with Lucas Duda. And as you look back now, I think it was the right choice without question.
Yeah, it definitely was. I think one of those situations you say, well, hindsight's 20/20. No, I think at that moment, you could kind of see the writing on the wall. Lucas Duda was up and coming. He was not to be a left fielder. That would have been the worst choice of it all. So to put him over at first base and say, hey, you know what, big man, keep swinging it the way you swing it. It's your bat that's really going to carry you through and keep you in this lineup. And it was his bat in the end that kept him in that lineup as long as he was.